Hello and welcome to Grumpy Gamers. You're here this week with Ben, and along me, is that right, Kirk?
Yeah,
along
that's
me
right.
this week, I have Kirk.
Hello.
And Eddie.
Hello.
And no Pete.
No Pete. Also, lots of energy from you.
Yeah,
Lots of
I
energy.
tried.
I like that.
I did my
Always
best.
gets a comment. Always gets a comment.
Kirk has to say something.
Kurt the critic.
Yes.
Yeah,
With a K. With a K.
Because Kirk, if he was doing an intro, would be fucking excellent. I know,
Oh,
obviously.
Kirk, you'd be all over the shop. You would
Yeah.
well, you'd refuse to do it, I reckon.
I would refuse to do it. I don't know. Even if I had a script right in front of me, like I do every fucking time I'm on, knowing what the news is, etc., I still fuck up. How do you think I'm going to deal with promoting? See, I can't even do it. I can't even do it.
They can't even say words that appear in your head anymore.
Presenting. That's what I was trying to say. Fucking
I would have
promoting.
loved for, because Pete's not on tonight because he had a little drink at the weekend.
A little drink.
So obviously he isn't recovered by a Tuesday when we're recording.
Sickly boy.
Yeah, he's in mid-30s. He's in his mid-30s. Like he needs 2 weeks to recover.
Yeah. So he's not on, and I'm not actually feeling that well. And I thought if I pulled out and it was just an Eddie and Kirk show, and I said send me the audio, Eddie would force Kirk to do the intro, and that would be special.
Oh dear. Ben, for I'll be honest, for 2 weeks in a row now, I've been absolutely swamped at work, and I've gone Kirk or Pete or bail. So what I'll do is I'll leave it to the last minute, and then I'll go, lads, I've done this. Can you guys do it without me? But obviously, it doesn't matter because people pull out. So
Yeah,
I'm never going to
everyone
have a
pulls
week off. Can't have a week off.
And I celebrate you, Eddie, because you don't ever.
Honestly, this morning I was like, I'm getting rammed. I've got all my car shits coming up in the next month, so I need to get a new car. Essentially, all this shit is going on in my life, and I went, and then I saw that little 11 a.m. Grumpy Gamers message. Oh, that'll be Kirk. Oh,
cheers.
it's Pete.
Yeah,
I'm
cheers.
not coming on. I'm sick. Oh my fucking
But
god.
I thought that meant that Kirk couldn't pull out either because he's like,
Yeah,
"Damn it."
I assume that's why Pete actually went quite early in the day, because then it's
respect,
Kirk,
respect.
you cannot. Yeah.
Actually, to be
nice,
fair,
nice.
I'm all caught up with stuff with the business, so it's good. I was never
Okay.
gonna, unless I had a life or death situation tonight, I was not pulling out. So don't you worry.
Weird flex.
Lovely.
Okay, cool. That's good.
Hello and welcome
right.
to Grumpy Gamers.
Oh, you didn't fuck it up.
I know, you can do it next time. Right, so as always, we'll be going through the news, new releases, what we've been playing, which includes Armored Core. Kirk's actually played a game, and Eddie's got something relatively new to Game Pass. So it's actually stacked up in the what we've been playing section.
Yeah.
And then our feature is on Gamescom 2023, which was last week. We're just going to recap, pick a couple of good things that came out of it. So let's get on with it. We'll start with the quick news, or it's actually the Starfield quick news this week. So
Lots of it.
look forward to that if you're not into Starfield. Right. So there were a lot of leaks for Starfield this week, you see. And the guy who leaked the initial 45-minute footage of Starfield, he got arrested for handling stolen goods, including attempting to sell the copies of the game online.
Wow.
So,
I mean,
yeah, way to get
deserves
caught.
it. Deserves it.
Well,
yeah.
you don't know. He might not have been like selling. This might be like a hard slap on the wrist, as in he probably went like, "I'll give you more info for money," and then they're going to slap him with that. You don't
Actually,
know.
that's quite a good point. Yeah, it could. It might manifest in different ways, but ultimately, that's what he's been kind of charged with. But yeah, I mean, is it worth leaking stuff?
Absolutely not.
No.
I mean, man, wow.
You're leaking something from one of the biggest companies in the world, and you think you're going to get away with it. Like, what do you think is going to happen?
Unfortunately, I think, and it's sad that we're going into politics like this, but I think we live in a world now where everyone kind of wants to get their nose out and they want to be seen, so people do this. And
That's true, yeah.
They end up ruining their lives because of it.
Yeah, social media culture, isn't it?
Yeah,
true.
I mean, how often do we see it now where someone has fucked up their whole life because they've thought it'd be brilliant to do something, and then they've gone, "Oh, now I reap the
there was that
rewards.
young hacker, wasn't there, earlier this
The
year?
GTA 6.
So-
the
Yeah.
GTA 6 hacker.
Yeah.
There was actually a news story on him last week, I think. I think he's due to be sentenced shortly.
Okay.
Yeah, but wasn't it like he couldn't be trialed because of mental health issues or something
Yes,
like that?
but
Wasn't it?
he's not been found guilty. He's been found responsible for doing the action,
Right.
which it seems to be the same thing to a layman like myself. But he will be sentenced nonetheless. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But everyone wants their 5 minutes of fame, or to stick it to the man. But continuing on the Starfield news, the internet has gone fucking mental this week. I mean, Kirk and I were talking about this before the show. Oh, there was another video that leaked. It showed planet exploration on Starfield, and it showed that it's not unlimited. So there were boundaries to the area that you land in each landing zone on the planet, and then you couldn't reach. So maybe you could land on 3 landing areas of a planet, let's say, and each of those areas were not connected in any way. This seemed to be kind of against how people thought it was going to be, based on marketing or based on what people had said previously. So everyone's up in arms. Kirk, I assume you have seen this in particular.
I haven't seen the footage, but I have seen the controversy surrounding it. So yes.
Uproar.
Yes, there's a lot of it, shall we say. It's, I mean, everybody wants to get their 2 cents in, and everyone is saying, well, this isn't what we were promised, yet they've not even played the fucking game yet to actually make a informed decision. So
Exactly. What do you think, Eddie, on this type of thing? I mean, you're going to actually play the game.
We're going to have to wait and see, because this could be game-breaking. And I know I'm being as drastic as the internet here, but let me spin a yarn. Like, if you only go to said points on a planet, what is the point in not fast traveling? And for me, a gamer that loves hardcore mode, like in old games, you can't fast travel, which is great in my opinion. I don't think you should fast travel. But there's going to be that thing in my brain that goes, because you are going to end up going to the planet and then pressing start and A on the station that you want to go to, why don't you just fast travel anyway? So that could be game breaking. But look, I say we wait until the game comes out, because there could be ways around it. Like hardcore mode could be no fast travel and you have to fly down into the area. I don't know. We have no idea. If only there were more leaks, you know?
Yeah, the suggestion is that it's heavily focused on the fast travel, and like flying isn't really involved that much in the game and all this kind of stuff. But to be honest, dialing it back for a moment, there has been a hell of a lot of focus on mechanics which are not totally known in this game. And regardless of that, behind this there is a Bethesda RPG, and if you're not interested in Bethesda RPGs, you're probably not going to like this game regardless. And it, in my opinion, it's other aspects of an RPG which really make a game good or not. And hopefully they deliver on that. And if they don't, then it won't be a great game. And if they do, then it probably will be a great game. And there have been other games before it which have operated on such systems, like Mass Effect, that have scored just fine, and people consider those the best games of previous generations. So I think we've just got to wait and see. And people are going fucking crazy, and on one side or the other, putting it down or building it up or calling things it looks awful or what. You don't know anything.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. We all just need to calm down, wait and see. Like, I kind of understand the uproars and the upsetness, because people want this to be the next Bethesda game. Like, the beauty of CD Projekt Red games, in my opinion, is they're so good at storytelling that they can kind of go, well, our game is not a forever game, but we've got such good storytelling that's what's our game about. Bethesda games, don't get me wrong, their side arcs are always quite good, but their main story isn't ever holy shit, that was amazing, like you to see on CD Projekt Red and other companies' games.
Yeah.
So I can kind of look. We need to wait and see. We need to see what the story's like. We need to see what the endless gameplay footage is, game loop is, and then by all means get angry then. But until then, just calm the.
I know until reviews come out and until we get to play it. But on the Forever game point, Eddie, I think I think maybe it's Todd Howard or somebody said that the game really opens up after the campaign, so there is an end game to this. So I'm excited for that. If that doesn't exist, I'd be pretty
I think the fact that with their games in the past, with the mods that they DLCs that they've released in the past, the success of certain mods that they've had in their games in the past, and the success of Elder Scrolls Online, I would be shocked if there wasn't some sort of very long end of game loop that will make players play this game for thousands of hours. I'd be shocked.
Yeah, I think you're bang on with that, and I am very excited for it. So
that's the only reason why I'm playing it. So looking forward to it.
That's a really good point. One outlet that won't be reviewing it on the day of release, or at least on the day of early access release, will be Eurogamer, because they only received their code today, so the 29th on Tuesday. They only received their code today. Now, I don't know, get your thoughts on this, because this has been a very controlled initial release of codes, hasn't it? Like, they have really controlled who has been given access to this. And I'm not totally against that, because I'm weird. I want the hype person to review the game, like Elden Ring. I want a Souls, like someone who's balls deep in Souls games, to review that game. I don't want a random. I don't want the objective view. I want the person who's all in on it, because that's how I feel about it. It's just like this. I am willing to love this game, and so therefore I will. So I want to hear from the people who are just like me, but I know that's not an objective truth on the game. So, but Eurogamer are one of the websites one of the only major outlets that I go to for reviews. I go to YouTube channels, obviously, but Eurogamer is the only major outlet I go to. So I'm a little, not disappointed, I don't really care that much, but let's just say disappointed that it's not going to be there on launch.
So by comparison, I listen to Kind of Funny a lot. And I know that Greg Miller, Gary Witter, and Paris Lilly all have codes, because they are doing their review. It's either tomorrow. Yeah, it's tomorrow that the embargo's up, isn't it? So,
is it tomorrow? Is it the 30th?
Yeah, I think it's the 30th. Before early access. So, it's just an interesting, like you said, this whole controlled aspect of it. Eurogamer's huge. I know Kind of Funny's huge as well for what it is, but that I think maybe that's the hype man side of it, because they're obviously very like outwardly charismatic, aren't they, with how they are?
They are Xbox focused as well, that particular podcast or whatever.
It's cast,
it's heavy Xbox, and it does mean that the day one Metacritic for Starfield will be skewed upwards. There is no doubt about that, because it's been kind of controlled. The overall Metacritic will end up exactly where it will be, like regardless of, because everyone's going to review this game. It's just the day one position, and I don't really care what the day one position is, because I'm already in anyway. So all I want is my hype to be at maximum, because then I can enjoy it to the max. All I want to hear is that people have enjoyed this game, and I'm going to go in to enjoy it. Look at Cyberpunk, for fuck's sake. I just wanted to focus on the people that enjoyed that game, because you know what? I fucking loved it at launch. I know you liked it, Kirk. Pete loved it.
Yeah, I will just caveat that, though, because that's exactly how I felt going into Dead Space. And not the same story.
No, you didn't.
Not the same.
Save that.
Spoilers.
You didn't feel like that. Come on.
Yeah.
Shite.
Anyway.
Right. Let's move it on. Xbox Chief Marketing Officer Jarrett West said that Starfield will be like a starting gun for first-party releases.
Cool.
I believe that when I see it.
Although off the back of that, Phil Spencer did say at Gamescom basically that 2022 he knows was a completely dry year, and with Starfield, this is where it's all starting to kick off now. So,
we heard 2 years ago that the year after was going to be the one. We heard last year that this year's going to be the one. And now, with Starfield coming out at the end of the year, guess what they're saying?
this is the one.
Guess what they're going to say next year, Kirk?
It's the year.
This
Next
is the
year's the
year.
year.
No, this is the
They'll say the year after's the fucking year. They'll have a couple delays, and then they'll be like, next year, though, guys. Next year.
I'm all for this positivity, but Forza's coming out after this. What's
October,
the next
yeah.
game after that?
I don't know off the top of my head because I just don't know.
I don't think there is one, is there?
Probably not. No.
For the past 4 years, it's been Redfall and Starfield is everything.
Well,
Redfall was a fucking disaster, and now Starfield's coming out. So,
well, Stalker 2 is now set for Q1 2024 at least. That's not first party, is it? But it's an exclusive. Despite reports saying that it will be the first week of December, those reports may have come from this podcast, and I don't really know where the original source was, if there was one. But we definitely said it.
if there was one, we wouldn't have just made it up.
Well, I heard it somewhere. I remember saying I heard it somewhere. Can't quote the source, but
That's what we should do on a slow news day. Just fucking make shit up. Just
Hey, that's what people. That's what people do for clicks, baby.
whoa.
that's
yeah,
what
there
people
you
do for
go.
a job. But yeah, it's coming out Q1 2024. Is that the next game after Forza? Like, we might be missing something like huge, but when everyone's like, oh, it's just game after game now for Xbox, is it? Okay.
Find out soon.
To be fair, I'm pretty sorted. I've got Starfield, which I can assume is going to take a lot of my time up. I've got a few games I want to play before Game of the Year, and then Stalker is going to take up another couple months of my life. So I'm sitting back and relaxing for the next 6 months.
Yep, true that. Yep. Good times. Moving on from Xbox momentarily. We'll return there, don't worry. Nintendo news, Charles Martinet will no longer be the video game voice of Mario. And in an interesting way of communicating that, Nintendo posted like a thing on Twitter, and it almost looked like an obituary. but he's not dead. He's not dead. And then people were like, "Oh no, this is really bad. This is sad." It's like, no, I mean, the guy's like 70. Let him like not work.
Let him retire.
Yeah, and I think he's remaining as an ambassador. But I think what that actually means is that he has retained the rights to say that he's Mario, go around to events, blah 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 blah, still make some money off the back of it. So the kid's balling. I mean, I think he's got a mansion, and he hasn't needed to be working.
As far as
he's all right.
am I right in thinking he didn't just do Mario though? He did other voices. I think he did. I think he did Luigi and Wario as well.
I don't know, Kurt, because the only reason I know who he is because
Chris Pratt.
Every man and his dog seemed to kick off when Chris Pratt got the fucking movie role.
Yeah.
So, oh no, Charles Martinet isn't the role. I mean, kid only says it's a Mario, doesn't he?
Pretty much, yeah. And,
it goes like, oh, yeah, exactly. Come on, give him some fucking credit. He's got a mansion for that.
Do you want to hear that throughout a whole fucking movie though? Probably not.
No, I don't. No, I'd rather hear. I thought Chris Pratt was absolutely fine. I'd rather hear him.
I don't think he was bad. No, it was good.
No, I watched Guardians 3 at the weekend. That was fucking class.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. We're getting off topic.
Moving on, yeah. Pete's not here. Last in the quick news. Back to Xbox stuff. The Xbox
surprise.
Series X is getting console wraps rather than themed consoles, which I don't think.
Yeah.
They're just fucking expensive. I know you've got a Halo themed console. Is that right, Kurt?
Yes, I do. Yes. But
so,
it's the only one of its kind for the Series X. There is no other special edition console that they've done. But these wraps look fucking brilliant.
They do look very nice. So it literally is just a wrap around the console, but it's all like the right dimensions and everything, and it's leather, and it looks nice. They're doing a Starfield one and 2 camo ones. Initially, I think they're about 45 quid. They actually look really good. I sent to you, Kurt, because you said, "Oh, am I going to get one?" I think the timing is slightly odd for the Starfield one because the wraps are coming out in October.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, just
bit weird.
Get better. Be better.
I kind of feel like something didn't quite go right in the manufacturing process, and it just
Something was
delayed it
wrong
by
there.
2 months, and they were like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
Yeah, something was wrong there. Don't do that. Be better than that. So, because by the time that comes out, I'm not getting it. But I would have bought it probably day one. So, let them know that.
All right.
That's the quick news. Do you want to move us on, Eddie?
Oh, yes. It's Microsoft Ubisoft partnership for streaming rights.
Woo!
Let me bang through this. Yeah, sit back and enjoy this. Ubisoft released a tweet last week saying the Ubisoft Plus lineup is expanding. We're excited to announce a new agreement that will bring Activision Blizzard games to Ubisoft Plus via streaming upon the completion of Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. We'll also be licensing the games to a range of cloud streaming and subscription services. Basically, if the deal gets approved, the old Activision Blizzard, the one we talk about every fucking week, then streaming rights for all new Activision Blizzard games released over the next 15 years will be given to Ubisoft, with those rights then existing in perpetuity. Microsoft President Brad Smith said in a blog, under the restructured transition, Microsoft will not be in a position either to release Activision Blizzard games exclusively on its own cloud streaming service, Xbox Cloud Gaming, or to exclusively control the licensing terms of Activision Blizzard games for rival services. This whole decision would seemingly be a move to get the deal through the CMA, as they blocked the deal last April. This April. The CMA has since reacted to this development, with the CMA boss Sarah Cardell saying in a statement, the CMA has today confirmed that Microsoft's acquisition of Activision, as originally proposed, cannot proceed. Separately, Microsoft has notified a new and restructured deal, which is substantially different from from what was put on the table previously. As part of this new deal, Activision's cloud streaming rights outside of the EEA will be sold to a rival. But I'm not going to fucking read the rest of that.
Don't bother. You get it. You've done well. You've done well.
But basically, yes, CMA have now rubber stamped the original decision, as in, boom, we deny that this happens. But they've now opened a new investigation with the revised form. Now, this to me seems like a cunning idea to get it across the line. It also helps the CMA, because we all know in the UK that the CMA looks a bit silly with all the politicians.
We win.
Yes, exactly. This is kind of perfect, a good tactic in my opinion, because it means Microsoft are kind of offering like an olive branch, like, you win, but here's our revised deal. The CMA get to save face and go, we did fuck up originally and we're in a lot of trouble, but this is brilliant. We right originally, let's allow this deal. I don't know. That's what it seems like to me. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think Microsoft's probably aware that cloud gaming is going to take 10 years to get to the place it needs to be, and it's going to take to the next generation of consoles at least. So they know they've got significant time. With this deal, I imagine there comes a licensing agreement that Microsoft got paid quite substantially, and that could be that if you put it on other platforms, that licensing agreement goes up. They get paid per wherever it goes.
There is a one-off deal per game.
So the important thing is Microsoft have paid X billion for Activision, or they will pay. They don't want to devalue that deal. If they lose the streaming rights, then if they lose the money that would be generated from the streaming rights, they've automatically then overpaid for something. So they have to get the money back somehow. This also seems to allow them to put everything on Game Pass, because they would just get it off Ubisoft, and that will be in the agreement. So they'll get all the games there. I then imagine that, in the UK, we'd still get all the Activision games coming onto the cloud and all that kind of stuff. And it seems to satisfy all purposes. And Microsoft probably realise that in order to grow cloud gaming, like with VR, all ships need to rise with the tide or something.
Basically, everybody needs to work together.
Exactly. Until such time as they take things over and it grows from there. But I'm sure they'll be making a lot of money from it. Ubisoft, this is a good thing. Ubisoft are probably not in danger of being bought by anyone, so Microsoft probably saw them as a good partner in that regard. On the face of it, being a layman looking at this, it seems 200 IQ.
Yeah, definitely. I don't really have anything else to add to it, to be honest with you. You basically said it all, so
Right.
Yeah.
Smart. But yeah, we should find out. I think. Oh, where did I read? October, I think, is like the deadline for the decision. So we should hear from them.
Cool.
So
Hear if it's worked then.
Call of Duty games on Game Pass by Christmas.
Well, actually, there was a quote this week, wasn't it, from like Phil Spencer at Gamescom or something, saying, "Yeah, Call of Duty won't be coming on Game Pass overnight. Like all these games take ages to put on and all that kind of stuff." Do you remember when Bethesda got bought and it was like a big ordeal? But I reckon in the background now they are getting all these games ready.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Microsoft will be paying Activision to preemptively get them ready or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Right, I'll move us on, shall we? So, split screen has been dropped for the Series S with regards to Baldur's Gate 3, but in a twist of events, it's also now potentially back on the cards.
Whoa, is it?
Yeah. So the story was up.
Great news story there.
Oh, Christ. That was a whirlwind.
So basically, last week it was Baldur's Gate is coming to Xbox this year. Larian's Sven Vinker, I'm assuming that's how you pronounce his name, hashed out some details with Phil Spencer at Gamescom last week. Sven put out a tweet, X, whatever the fuck we're calling it these days, the following: "Super happy to confirm that after meeting Phil Spencer yesterday, we've found a solution that allows us to bring Baldur's Gate 3 to Xbox players this year. Something we've been working towards for quite some time. All improvements will be there with split screen co-op on Series X. Series S will not feature split screen co-op, but it'll also include cross-save progression between Steam and Xbox Series." So further to this, Xbox over the weekend announced that Larian Studios and Xbox are working in partnership to bring split screen to the Series S. So this was an update that was put through on the article today. So Baldur's Gate 3 has seen quite a bit of success on PC, and it's coming to PS5 September 6th. And as we've just explained, it seems that it's a bit of a faff with it launching at the same time as PS5 on Xbox, which is no doubt due to technical difficulties with the Series S, and this obviously being one of them. I mean, it's no surprise really, because we've been hearing a lot of this in the news lately, haven't we, with the whole parity between X and S, but it is becoming more and more of a thing that there are obviously certain features that need to be omitted from the Series S, and if split screen is one of them, so what? Like, I think there are certain games that need that. I don't remember last time I played split screen properly. Obviously there was like games like It Takes Two, that kind of thing, which I played with roommate, etc. But does this really need it? And does it really? Are you going to withhold it from your whole ecosystem just because you can't have split screen on the Series S? And the other thing with this is I'm very curious to understand. Xbox are working with the studio and having their engineers go and work with the studio to get this onto the consoles. Did that happen with Sony? Did Sony send engineers to the studio to get it on the PS5? I don't think it did. Like, I thought the whole idea was developers develop for a console, it comes out, you don't really need the help from the console manufacturer themselves.
There's two things there. The Xbox probably aren't going to be able to do shit. And two, the PS5 is way more powerful than the Series S. So there you go.
Yeah.
They don't need help. But Eddie owns a Series S. Is this the problem with this? It's good in this case. Obviously, Baldur's Gate coming to Xbox sooner for Xbox people. That's great. Is this a slippery slope? Because this, yes, I'm with you, Kirk, that I don't think split screen is that big a concession in order to get this game onto an Xbox console.
Mm-hmm.
However, that may be perceived as, going forward, certain developers who are having problems, because there will be people, because there are two SKUs that have to be developed for on an Xbox. There will be developers who are just like, this is a fucking bullet, can we just not ask Xbox?
Yeah.
And where does that leave? Where Xbox have clearly marketed that the Series S and the Series X play exactly the same games,
Yeah.
and it's just a graphical thing. And the Series S has sold so well, and it makes so much sense to buy a Series S. It really, really does. Mm-hmm. Is this a slippery slope? What do you think, Eddie, on that?
At the moment, they have that like kind of unwritten rule, don't they? Of like
Yes, the parity rule. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Now, no one, apart from people who are hardcore in the gaming scene, like I don't think many people know that. So I wouldn't be surprised in the future, because obviously the amount of trouble it's already caused, and it's obviously going to only get worse over time as games become better and better. There's going to be some time where Xbox have to go, this is only coming out on Xbox X.
We're only 3 years into the generation, remember?
Yeah, but it's already struggling. We see increasing the amount of news stories where something has struggled with the S, and something's had to happen. So I think there's a time that's going to come, and I don't think it's going to be long, maybe in a year, where we'll see the first instance of.
True. Yeah.
I think, unfortunately, Xbox have backed themselves into a bit of a silly corner. I understand their tactic coming out of the gate. They needed to get more consoles out into people's hands, and they wanted to undercut Sony. That's what it was, wasn't it? They wanted people to get a console.
Yes.
But what they've inadvertently done, and I'm sure that they kind of saw this coming in some respect, but just were hoping that I guess they could find a reasonable way to communicate this or kind of get themselves out of it as the years went on. It's come to bite them on the ass, basically, and now I don't see how they get out of it without saying, right, this is it. We've got to draw a line in the sand, and we've got to say, right, this is what it is. This is what you need to provide for it. Otherwise, bye Series S.
See, I think like my take on this is you're bang on that they wanted to get Xboxes into people's hands. They wanted to beat PlayStation out of the gate. So I think in their mind they were like, right, we've got Game Pass and we've got a Series S. We are going to do so much better in this generation off the back, because people don't want to pay 450 quid for a console.
Yes.
So and that was a good in theory, I think, and it hasn't worked out in practice. The brand name of the PS5 is just so powerful. Mm-hmm. Now PlayStation then went, okay, we see what you've done there, and now there's heavy rumors of a PlayStation 5 Pro, and Phil Spencer has said Xbox are not going to do a mid-gen refresh.
Yeah.
So potentially what you have then is a PS5 Pro, and the lesser version being the PS5, and then the Xbox Series X on parity with that, and then the S below that.
Yeah.
So then the S is looking very, very inferior. Now, under Microsoft's kind of how they pushed this, they obviously thought that they were going to come out of the gate so much stronger with this S. Like that but we've seen from the sales numbers, it's not there. So their tactic failed, and now PlayStation potentially can just absolutely compound this. Yeah, and no one is getting an S then, and there's 4 SKUs that have to be developed for, and it's that'd be 3.
Yeah, I kind of see what you mean. I think their tactic was, let's hit them with the affordable. Let's knock it out the park at the beginning. Let's be, holy shit, Xbox have taken over.
Yes, the dominant. And then it doesn't matter what PlayStation
did. And then it doesn't matter because everyone has an S in their hands.
Correct,
that didn't happen. Yeah.
Didn't happen. And now they risk.
Now they've got the problem of, right, well, the strength didn't work, and now we're on to the weakness side.
Yeah, and now we're fighting. So now we haven't got good sales, and a Pro's going to come out of the PS5, and we're not going to put another one out because we don't want 3 SKUs of our console out there.
Yeah.
They are backed.
I wonder if, we don't know what's going to happen, but I wonder if at some point I don't know how the hell they do it, but if they backpedal on this mid-gen refresh, bring out a new console, an Xbox Series XX, whatever the fuck they're going to call it, and then the X becomes the S, essentially. Price point.
What do you do with those S's? Like,
I know this is what I mean. This is what I mean. I don't know how they would do it.
I think, Kirk. I think their only answer is to cut their losses and go, right, now things come out on X and they might come out on S later or worse. I don't know. I do not think they can go, let's bring out another. I think they have to accept defeat.
Okay, so maybe they go, let's ride it for another 2 years, and then we won't do a next-gen refresh. We'll do a next-gen console.
Yeah.
And then games only have to come out on the new console.
And just do one, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, and then they just have a cross-generation. They go new generation, so the new Xbox, and then the Xbox Series X is what is like the back gen of it. I don't know that I think I thought their plan was excellent. It hasn't worked. And I think there is serious risk now of the power of the PS5 brand is there, and it's not showing any signs of slowing. PlayStation have very few big games that I'm aware of coming out. Like in terms of strength of lineups, I know we said we couldn't name any, but Xbox has a better lineup coming up, right? It ain't shifting consoles.
Yeah.
We'll see if there's a spike because of Starfield. I'm sure that'll be in the news. But yeah, it's interesting times. This is an example of where the S just seems to just not be holding up, and the fact that this is one of the highest rated games of the year, top 2 rated games of the year, and it has not come to Xbox because of a problem holding it back with the parity between the X and the S is
mind-boggling.
Really.
Yeah, mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you want to move us on, mate?
Right, yes, let's do that. So last up, the PlayStation. What was it called before? Oh, the Q. It was called the Project Q, wasn't it? Yeah. So the PlayStation Project Q, which was the handheld streaming device from the PS5, that has got its full name and it's got a price reveal. So it's called the PlayStation Portal, and it got revealed at $200 and £200. The release date isn't known, but it will be this calendar year. So PlayStation wrote on their travel blog, PlayStation Portal is the perfect device for gamers in households where they might need to share their living room TV or simply want to play PS5 games in another room of the house. It also streams outside the house. They're not advertising that heavily, but you can take this somewhere else, anywhere that's got Wi-Fi, and it can technically still connect to your house Wi-Fi and do it. But they're really not pushing that. Anyway, it's capable of doing 1080p and 60 frames per second, which in a handheld,
that's pretty good. Yeah,
very, very nice. It's got no cloud streaming at launch, only PS5 games from the PS5. Jim Ryan had previously said that it would be part of a fairly interesting and quite aggressive cloud gaming plan. So the assumption, presumably, is that cloud gaming would come to this eventually, or even if it was cloud gaming from your PlayStation, because on PlayStation Extra or Premium or whatever the fuck it's called, you can get cloud games, so that might be introduced to it. There's no Bluetooth on this thing.
Yeah, that's fucking outrageous. When I heard that,
let's talk about this.
Jesus Christ!
So there's a headphone jack. But there's no Bluetooth. Kirk, talk to us.
There are everybody's got a good set of Bluetooth headphones these days. No, not many people have wired headphones. Really, okay. The general consumer does. No, the general consumer. The general consumer.
I'm the opposite.
Okay.
I've got two wired. Yeah, I've got two wired.
I've only got wired, Eddie.
Bluetooth. Yeah, I've got two wired and no Bluetooth. Yeah.
You two are in a certain community. Go fuck yourselves. The point is, you don't have Bluetooth on this, and why don't you have Bluetooth on it? It's because
Does it have a headphone jack? It does. Yes.
Yeah, Eddie, it's going. Yeah, it's going.
Oh,
3.5 mil.
Oh, perfect. That's
perfect. That's the jack that I have.
It's because of this very anti-consumer thing. This is the same as when Apple originally took away the headphone jack from the iPhone to sell.
I was so pissed off. I was so pissed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I was so upset.
Furious.
Yeah. And now, do you have AirPods, Eddie?
I do.
Yeah, so do I. And what have Sony announced, Ben?
Yes, they have announced Pulse wireless headphones and earbuds. Now, as Kirk has alluded to, these do connect to the PlayStation Portal. So,
Nice.
So, 200 IQ on their part that they have announced these headphones and these earbuds that will connect to your Portal, but nothing else will. We're making light of it, but as Kirk said, it is the most anti-consumer thing you could possibly think of. Now, I don't have expensive earbuds because I haven't got money for that shit.
How much are those headphones, by the way? Do you know?
I didn't write it down, so I don't know.
I'm going to go and have a look. Go on, carry on.
Yeah, you have a look.
Yeah,
but people spend there's a fucking loud motorbike going on. People spend an absolute fortune on their headphones and their earbuds and all that kind of stuff. They love them, and rightly so. People listen to a lot of music and all that kind of stuff. The fact that you don't allow them on this thing, that is disgusting, isn't it?
Just a look. Oh, okay, okay. Guess how much they are? $200 fucking dollars.
Whoa-wee.
It's the same fucking cost as the fucking Portal. That is outrageous.
Whoa-wee. That's
Jesus.
Even when Apple brought out the fucking AirPods, they were a fraction of the price of the actual phone. For fuck's sake, that's madness.
The thing with Apple, that outrageous charger that you have to have the right charger, that's outrageous.
That changes this year.
And then when they change the they change it again, and my
USB-C.
Christ.
The EU.
Are they?
They're forcing them.
To be fair, that was the
friendly.
law. Yes.
Yeah.
It's the law.
No, it
Okay,
was the
fine.
law. Yeah. Do you remember they went like,
Johnny Law. Okay.
Yeah, Johnny Law. Anyway, but the $200, £200 for a set of headphones for a $200 pound device.
That's monstrous, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
No.
Right.
Anyway.
But
the device actually looks quite good.
Yeah, I want the Portal. I think I will get it for myself. Maybe not on launch, maybe for Christmas or something like that. I do love this type of thing. Yeah, and there's so many people, like, really does, and it is our podcast, so I do have this soapbox, but there's so many people that say like, oh, it's useless, it's a useless thing, it's useless because they can't see any use for it.
For themselves, yes, I agree.
Just because you can't see a use for something yourself does not mean it's useless. Shut the fuck up.
So I actually thought about this. So I have to commandeer the whole TV and sound setup at home whenever I want to play a PlayStation 5 or the Xbox. But what about when the roommate wants to watch TV?
Exactly.
This could fit. This means I can play while she watches. It's great.
You're damn right you can.
So that is a use case as to why this is an important thing. And handheld gaming, as you both have actually said, Eddie with your Backbone and you with your Steam Deck, is
I champion it.
You see the benefits to it, don't you? And you can
but what people are not pointing out, and I've continually pointed out, is that this is a PlayStation controller, and it will be the most ergonomic of all of these handhelds, which have fucking awful controllers. Mm-hmm. Switch, Joy-Cons, gash. Steam Deck, gash.
Don't say
One X Player, gash. They're all fucking nonsense. They're shit.
Gash.
This will be good because it's a controller, an actual ergonomic fucking. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah. Just another thing, just for the anti-consumer bit, it doesn't come with a case or anything, so you got to look after it. Doesn't come with a case. The Portal device, doesn't come with a case.
Oh,
yeah. So don't stand on it, buddy.
Oh, dear. I don't know why you guys are surprised by this. Like, have you do you not get bored of being surprised about how heathenous PlayStation and Nintendo
I just
are?
like to believe in the good in people. Eddie.
There is no good in PlayStation. If there are any employees here listening to this, you are evil to the core. You are money driven. You are the type that steals off your grandmother. And you're not
I think that's
here.
the employee's fault, but
It's not. It's Jim's fault.
I assume they only hire evil people.
I respect the generalisation.
That.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Right.
Okay.
Let's move on to new releases. Let's start with an absolute banger. Oh, by the way, guys, this is a week of DLCs, and
I noticed that.
They're either releases or they're either DLCs or they're releases for a different console. So I wouldn't get too excited, but I think there's an obvious reason of why that is, and we'll get to that later. First one, Bus Simulator 21 Next Stop, official school bus extension. Coming out on PCs, PlayStations, Xboxes, August 30th. Yeah, it adds numerous improvements and a new missions. That's copy and pasted from their fucking website. That's not good. Involving school buses. So
Nice.
yeah. If you like school buses.
I had Bus Simulator 19.
Oh,
Was it any good?
Did you enjoy it, man?
I did, yeah. I thought it was alright.
What? I just have to ask. I have to ask a question, okay? Because watching the trailer.
You don't want to know the answer.
No, I probably don't actually. No, go on, move us on. I don't want to.
Good game.
I just sipped my beer because I was expecting a question there, but
I don't know what the next. I don't know what 20 or 21 is added to the equation, but 19 was decent.
well, with these things, new buses, new engines, you need to keep on releasing them each year.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
It's
I've
like
heard each iteration has new dynamic AI movement,
That's it.
just like the Maddens and the FIFAs.
Very good, very good.
Nice. Necro Boy Path to Evil Ship coming out on August 31st to Switch. It came out on PC in October 2022. It's like a cartoon puzzle game. Yeah. Did any of you see this? Did you?
Yeah, it looks fine.
Yeah.
Fine is a word that I would use to describe this, yeah.
It's fine.
Kirk might like this.
A little bit of
Did you like it?
A little bit of cell shading on there, but not for me.
Not for you. That is the most spoken comment on this
Kirk.
podcast.
It's very Kirk, yeah.
Hey,
Not
at least I'm consistent.
for me. There you go. I remember reading one of our comments on one of our videos once saying the amount of times Chris says absolutely, and I'm like, oh no. Every time I say absolutely, which by the way is a lot. He's not wrong. He was not wrong with that comment. But now every time I say it, I hear myself in my brain go, oh, shut up, stop saying absolutely.
I'll tell you what, the comments rarely are wrong. Like, even when they're
Absolutely,
like
Ben.
saying you're shite, you don't know what you're talking about, they're absolutely on money.
They're very cutting, but they're also very accurate.
Deep cuts, and it does make you question a few things, but
Oh,
okay.
Dear me. Brilliant. Hey, Kirk, when me and Ben were playing golf the other day, some boys lent out a car and shouted bold wanker at him.
yeah. But I didn't even hear. That's the worst part. I didn't even get to wear the insult. I was then told of the insult third hand.
Just like some complete randoms, yeah? That's brilliant.
But Kirk, Eddie didn't even know if they were saying it at him.
I know. I had a hat on, so they couldn't see my bald spot. So I'm taking.
So
it.
Eddie's a very tall man. He's a very tall man. It'd be hard for them to see when they're down in a car. So
go.
yeah, they're definitely talking to you, Ben.
It made me feel worse because, like, if they'd said it to me and I'd worn the insult at the time, that would have been fine. But the fact that they said it and I wasn't even there, it's like a passive insult. That felt even worse.
Oh, dude, that's why I hate when you read some of the comments on our podcast and you're like, oh no, they're not even talking at me; they're talking about me. Oh, I love it. Keep those comments coming. Right, Somerville. It's got a PlayStation release on August 31st. It came out on PC and Xbox in November 2022. It's a dark, atmospheric adventure game. The reviews, quite unfortunately, are mixed. Loads of people are saying it's just no mechanics. It's literally just walking, which is ironic because it does look exactly like Death Stranding if it was like a strategy version. Okay. Right. Yeah.
I have heard that because Abby played this and said, like, it was just like walking and like no, like, what didn't know what was going on.
You know what? Like, there's two things off about that. One, I'm very sad because it does look really atmospheric. I do love the look of it, but at the same time, whenever I look at the key features on Steam, which is pretty much the first thing I go to, apart from watching maybe one or two videos. And there's just 4 things, and it's like, solve puzzles, hide, observe things, and when that's your key features, it's going to be a pretty...
That's the worst.
Observing, yeah. Observe and learn.
Oh, learning.
and learn form every alien entity. Holy fuck, we found another spelling mistake on another fucking game. What is wrong with people? Proofread it, people!
It's the intern.
There you go. That fucking intern needs firing. Well, can you fire an intern? I guess you can.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can, but they're unpaid, so...
Yeah, you can tell them to go home.
To stop working for free.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, please stop contributing.
Yeah. And that intern should just say, why don't you just proofread my work? But it's fine. It's fine. We'll move on. We'll move on to Taito Milestones 2. Taito? I'm going to go with that.
Yeah.
Coming out on Switch August 31st. Taito Milestones 2 is a new collection with more of Taito's arcade classics. A lively mixture of genres from shoot-em-ups and platformers to fighting games awaits arcade
Aficionados.
Aficionados. I never knew it was spelled with a C there. There you go. Well done, Eddie. It's got 10 arcade games. Yeah, all of them are like old school arcade games.
£3.50
It's £35. Yeah. Yeah, you know what, Kirk? You've turned my mind around. I was really upset that I saw £35 on a game like this, but you know, if you put it like that, £3.50 each, that's not bad, actually, is it?
Still sounds very expensive to me.
It's expensive for games that have been out for a long time and just been bundled into a collection. So probably not good value for money.
Yeah. So the five ones they're advertising came out between 1986 and 1991. So old games.
Yeah, it's not good value for money because somebody would have to pay me to play this.
Yeah, and I would accept that. That's the only way I would play this.
Yes, if someone paid us, yeah, sponsored. So
There you go,
Taito
guys.
Milestones 2 would like to sponsor. I can stream off the Switch, so that's fine.
There you go. If Nintendo, if you're going to go against your whole business marketing plan, then give us a call.
Grumpy Gamers, yeah.
There you go. The Tenants have got a DLC, Pets, coming out on PC August 31st. Discover a heartwarming new dimension in the Tenants with the Pets DLC. From dogs and cats to raccoons, mini pigs, parrots, fish, hamsters, bunnies, frogs, and turtles. Welcome a diverse array of affordable creatures into your rental empire. Not affordable, adorable, but maybe my brain is so money focused that I read affordable there. That's what
Affordable creatures.
That's worrying, isn't it? Yeah, it's got a shit ton of pets. 4 new elite contracts. There's new gifts, services, sabotage options related to pets. There's new pet related furniture. New pet related events. New phone app for pet management. And a new special mission. So there's actually it's not like The Sims, you know, and you get a DLC and you get like a cat. No, this sounds like it's quite a lot
Eddie,
there.
is this the game your mum wanted to play?
This is the game that I want my mum to play because she will be
yeah.
so fucking addicted to it, it's beyond belief. I mean, because the Tenants is her day job, like getting houses, doing them up and selling them again. And now there's cats in there. Like, yeah, I don't know. If my mum does not buy this game, then I don't know who's going to buy it.
Mini pigs, yeah, great.
If only she didn't think that Steam put viruses on her computer.
That's also a deep callback. Yeah.
And then the government, take her codes. I don't know.
Yeah, the Chinese government will hack her phone.
That's it. Then they'll come round her house and take the house. Yeah, that's She's old.
Take a saved file for the Tenants.
There you go. Next one, Trine 5, A Clockwork Conspiracy, coming out on PC, PlayStation, Xboxes, and Switch, August 31st. The Trine series is back with its biggest adventure. In their 5th outing, the heroes of Trine are pitted against dastardly and duplicitous...
I'm sorry?
Duplicitous villains. Duplicitous. I got it then. Come on.
Okay. Yeah.
Give me that. Why didn't they just say duplicitous? That means like devious, doesn't it? Is that right?
I assume it's very similar to dastardly.
I'm pretty sure it means like devious is in like scheming and shit. Why didn't they just fucking say that? Why did they have to do that?
Because they wanted the alliteration with dastardly.
Or why didn't they say devious?
Could have done, but they went for duplicitous.
I mean, I didn't have
Why?
a fucking clue what that word means, and
Yeah, and Ben just hesitated saying it. So it's like, why not just say devious? Why did they have to do that? Fuck me. It's like when my mate, when I was like 12, and he went, evidently. And I went, why the fuck are you saying that? Why don't you say obviously? Don't be a dick.
he's trying to sound smarter than they are.
There you go. Thank you, Kirk. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's
Yeah.
refocus. Let's refocus. Who will stop at nothing to seize control of the kingdom? That sounds very dastardly. The clock is ticking to save the world of Trine. It's an action-adventure platformer. It's published by TH Nordic.
They never miss.
So they don't, just like EA, they do not miss. It's got cartoony visuals. The ratings on previous ones are absolutely fantastic. And the problem with that is when I've looked at previous ones, 4 actually, in my opinion, looks a lot better than this game. So,
All right.
but yeah, the fact that everyone's raving about the old games, I think this will still do quite well. And I think people will be quite happy.
I mean, it's only 23 quid, so it's not too bad either.
It's also 20% off right now, Kirk, on Steam.
Oh, lovely.
It's a bit of a cult classic series, isn't it? And this looks a hell of a lot better than I thought it was. In my head, I didn't think it looked like this. But
No? What did you think it looked like?
shit.
Okay,
Okay. Right. Fine.
lovely.
Yeah, I think it looks alright.
Yeah, that's fine.
Kirk, is one of your games there?
I mean, it could be one to play with a roommate, so could be a bit of fun.
Okay. Right, fine.
That's a hard
Well,
note.
That's a hard no. Let's move on
Didn't say that,
to the big one. It's Starfield, coming out on Xboxes, coming out on Game Pass. It's got early access September 1st for you people who have no concept of money, and a full release on September 6th.
Is it coming out on Series S?
Did you? Oh, did I say X? Oh, sorry.
No, he
SX.
didn't. He said Xboxes.
Yeah,
He said
no.
it right.
Did I?
No, I just said, is it coming out on Series S? Just a little harken back to before. but don't worry
Oh,
about it.
right, okay. Sorry, that did not land.
So
in
No, it did not land, did it?
joke was
That did not land, just like that you can't land your ship in random areas of...
very good. Very good.
There you go.
Starfield is the first new universe in 25 years from Bethesda Game Studios, the award-winning creators of The Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim, and Fallout 4. They put about as much effort into that
That is the
blurb as they did the
smallest
menu
fuck
screen.
blurb, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
They
not a
don't
great
give
blurb.
a fuck.
How many times have we berated companies for doing that very same thing when they make
Hark back to their legacy.
hark
and
back
then
to the
just
legacy of
mention
stuff.
two
Like,
games.
go, you piece of shit! What are you playing at?
Oh, dear. Lazy.
Hey, what's the game about?
exactly.
The game's I mean, do I have
based on
to
that.
say it? Like a first-person shooter, story, adventure, action, RPG.
You can do third person as
It's
well.
third person as well. Yeah.
Space. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's all there.
Skyrim in space.
What about... Huh?
Skyrim in space, right? That's basically what they're saying.
That's what they were saying.
yeah.
That's what they were saying.
Yeah, that's kind of its thing. Who's getting it on early release?
I am.
Ben's getting it on early release.
Kirk is going to give me a code.
I am.
It's nice.
And Kirk, are you getting it then?
I am not. No.
Oh, okay.
I will wait for the full release, but what will probably happen is I'll play it probably about 2 years' time. So.
Fucking.
I think, Kirk, you will dabble in for 45 minutes so that you're
I will
in on the conversation.
Yeah. I will preload it. I'll do it tonight, actually, and I will get involved.
The issue I see with you is that you're not going to play that. You don't play RPGs.
I can't
you
invest
could play Cyberpunk.
I can't invest
got
the
time
amount
to
of
do it.
time that I need to do this because,
And-
like you said, this is a forever game. This is such an expansive thing, and I'll get pissed off that I can't do anywhere near as much as I'd like to do, and I'll fall off.
Yeah, I mean,
But you can't. You can. You've said before that you play games and you kind of gunline. You like. I think it was God of War where you said like I couldn't be asked to do side shit.
I mainline it. Yeah.
These are. this game is exactly like that. You can do that.
You can
like
do
all,
that, yeah.
all Bethesda games, you can do that.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
You could treat it as solely a, just a single player story game.
Fun fact for you: I've never played a Bethesda game I've never played Skyrim or Fallout.
Well, I think this might be a really good place to start. I mean, I think as the problem, I'm the same as you, Kirk. Sometimes when a game gets released, I will play it with the intention of I'm only playing this for an hour, just so I'm involved in the conversation and I've seen it.
Yeah.
But maybe it might grab you and you might play it because it doesn't.
That's it.
I imagine this is a 25 to 30 hour game if you want it to be.
Yeah, probably.
And like a Cyberpunk.
Well, that's what I'm going to compare it to. You enjoyed your time with Cyberpunk, didn't you?
I did.
Right. Well, I think this game will be a 10% less version story-wise, as in not as good.
Yeah, definitely.
Probably 50% better in every other regard. So, if you enjoyed Cyberpunk, I think if you played this as a story game, only mainline, I think you'll really enjoy this game.
Yeah,
well, what will probably happen is I'll play it for the hour or two to get involved with the conversation, and then I'll be like, I can't put this fucking thing down. This is amazing.
Well, yeah, maybe that will happen, and that'll be quite interesting. Eddie, you're going to wait till the 6th of September, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there you go. There's that absolutely word again. Yeah, I'm going to wait till the 6th. You know what? Me and Kirk had a conversation. Was it last week, Kirk, where you were like, "Oh, I bet you're excited for Starfield," and I was like, "No, not really. I don't know. There's something about it." But what's really, really good is I haven't got another game on my to play list.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And I'm getting quite a little bit bored of playing Escape from Tarkov as my main game, which is perfect.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, we've got a week till. So I'm purposely not going to buy another game, and I'm going to wait, and then hopefully by the time it comes out, I'll be gagging for a new game.
Tell you, Eddie, the last couple of weeks, I wasn't that... I mean, I knew I played Starfield, obviously. Like, I'd always play it. But it's only really the last 2 weeks that I've been like, yes, I really want to play this.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much from playing Baldur's Gate. Because I was playing Baldur's Gate and I was just thinking, I'd really rather be playing Starfield. Like, I imagine Starfield to be better than this for me.
I did have a tactic... which I've abandoned, and I was going to go play Imperium Galactic Survival before playing this, so that I felt very good that it's the kind of game I want to play, but 20 times better. But I'm worried that will get me all... I'm fed up with this type of game now. So
yeah, don't risk it. I don't think
I'm not doing it. No, I'm not doing it.
Donnie's playing No Man's Sky. I've just seen on our Discord. He's playing that currently right now, No Man's Sky. So.
What upsets me, what would upset me with that is that there are things in that game, No Man's Sky, that you won't be able to do in Starfield.
Yes.
And when you can't do that in Starfield, I think you'll feel quite sad.
I think he is saying some of those things. So I never know. Maybe next week, depending on what's going on, and if he's played a few hours or whatever, and he wants to join us on the pod, maybe we could get him on, because I think it'd be good to have a discussion about Starfield and how it's panning out over those first 10 hours.
I think for the conversation, what he's doing is brilliant.
Yeah.
But I want this game to be my favourite game of all time. So I will do things that will detriment this podcast.
Yeah,
and
to
emphasise
that,
how
yes.
much I want that. Yeah,
I
will throw you all
that.
under a bus.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's quite strong. But I also think I'm protecting myself as well by playing other types of games in order to just dedicate to Starfield. And I'm also not watching really any of the leaks and stuff. I'm not really participating in much of the conversation or anything like that, because there is no point in my eyes. I just want to, whatever the game is, I don't care. I just want to play that and just make a judgment.
I just want to be happy.
Absolutely.
Right, let's move on, because we talked about Starfield probably 1/4 of this podcast. Chants of Sinar.
Why did you sound farmer?
Yeah, that'll do.
I did sound a bit farmer, didn't I? There you go. There's another word to my list of words which make me sound like a farmer, like fire and world.
Okay.
World. Right. Chants of Sinar, me lover, coming out on PC and Switch, September 5th. Legend says that one day a traveller will reunite the peoples of the tower who are unable to communicate with each other. Observe, listen, and decipher ancient languages in a fascinating universe inspired by the myth of Babel. The publisher is Focus Entertainment.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at names, so I don't know who they. But SnowRunner.
Yeah, it's got loads of cool games.
Playtale. Oh yeah, Ancient Aliens Dark Descent there, Ben.
Yeah, loads of cool games. Good publisher.
Yeah, good publisher. It looks a lot like a game that we've seen. I don't know, 6 months ago, where you traverse on sand and stuff. Yes, I know, Ben. I have no idea.
It was the one that had performance issues.
Yep.
You're on that vehicle. I can't remember what the name was.
That's it. Shooting through the sand.
Yes.
That's it. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Saber or something like that? Something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it'll come to us, maybe.
Yeah.
Or it won't, and then who cares?
It looks so similar that I was like, I bet it's the same developer, and it's not. So I don't know if they're going to get sued or something, but yeah, it's a kind of like a simple adventure puzzle game. This is exactly what I was saying earlier, where the key things to do in the game, there are 4 things. One is explore, one is observe your environment, one is use stealth, and one is decipher ancient languages. So I would go into this game expecting very little game mechanics. But hey, the look of it all looks fine.
Looks wonderful, doesn't it? And the game that we're thinking of is called Sable.
Yes, that is it. Yes, Sable.
There you go.
Kurt,
talk to me.
I quite like the look of it. I think it would be the kind of game. If I had a Switch, I would definitely consider getting it.
I really like the look of it as well. It sounds boring as sin, but looks nice.
Kirk, you can play on Mac.
It says PC. That's not a Mac, but okay.
Yeah, I know, but we've talked about this before.
Yes.
And Abby
I'm not going through that rigmarole just to play this.
Fuck.
I'd rather just buy. I'm trying to use fancy words to make myself sound better.
Very good. Yeah.
It's evidently. You can see what I'm doing.
Very good.
Very good.
I'd rather just buy a Switch if I was going to do this, in all honesty.
That is a man who has disposable income, isn't it? I'd rather not press download on my Mac and instead just buy a Switch. Right, okay. That is too much.
You know what he'd rather do is just not buy it and not buy a Switch and not play it.
Not play any games, actually.
That is the thing that I will definitely do.
And then for what we've been playing, probably say Dead Space for the 4th week in a row.
You're such a wanker.
Let's move on.
Bold wanker.
Last one of the week. Rune Factory 3 Special coming out on PC and Switch September 5th. Bridge the divide of an ancient schism between humans and monsters in Rune Factory 3. Special as Half-Life, half-woolly protagonist Micah. Farm, fight, and fall in love as you revisit a classic in the series that perfected the blend of RPG and life sim genres. This Rune Factory 3 came out in 2009. I had to look that up. Fuck me. We're old. It features brand new Rune Factory 3 special include Newlywed Mode, standalone adventures unlocked after marriage to each of the game's 11 eligible bachelorettes, and a hell difficulty level to challenge even veteran players. It's also got improved graphics and redesigned 3D character models. Yeah.
I've actually got Rune Factory 4, I think. I've played it.
Oh.
It's just the type of nonsense that I actually quite like, but fucking looks awful. I think it's Rune Factory 5, which looks good. This one actually does have improved graphics, but I think Rune Factory 5 looks good, but has worse mechanics than 4 or something. I don't know. Anyway, it's fucking Rune Factory. People know what it is.
It still looks quite bad in my opinion.
Yeah, fair one. Yeah.
But sorry to be negative, Nelly. Kirk, any comments on this?
Nope.
Brilliant. Right. let's move on to my pick of the week. I think this has probably got to be the easiest pick of the week. But fair enough. Games have moved the hell out of the way for the Tenants Pets DLC, and I respect them for that.
Yeah,
so,
I can see that.
Yeah, so obviously the Tenants Pets DLC, my pick of the week. Go get it. Go pick it up. Go get a pet. Go get your contract to do with your pet and nurture that pet until it's nice and healthy.
And pet-like. Yeah, cool. Good.
Yeah.
Right, what we've been playing then?
Yeah, all right. Well, for the fourth week in a row that I've been on the podcast, I've...
What's more impressive, because you haven't been here for like probably one or two of them, so that's probably like a month and a half.
No, that's more than that. That's at least 2.5 months it's taken me to finish a single-digit hour game.
Yes. Yeah. I think it took me 7 hours. Yeah.
Right, there we go. Yeah.
So, Dead Space. I've finally done it. I completed it. Woo!
Well done, Kirk.
I know,
well done,
right,
buddy.
Right, I'll get the
job,
good.
man.
I'm gonna get the good out of the way on this. All right. So, looks fantastic on a technical
Said that
level.
last time.
Yeah, I'm just saying it again. On a technical level.
Did you just copy and paste your notes?
No, I do have some other notes. Don't worry.
You're too busy playing games to
I
write
know,
notes.
right?
To make
I know.
notes. Yeah.
On a technical level, this is it is an achievement what they've produced here, and I fucking love the lighting. Honestly, it is a clear, faithful remake to the original. Now I know I haven't played the original. I know I haven't
I
played
was
the.
waiting for that. I was like, is Ben going to wait for a lull? No, he's coming straight in with the big
I mean,
gun.
this is the thing. When I wrote that note, I was like, they're going to fucking rip me for this because I only played 20 minutes of the first one. I can make the comparisons like from the 20 minutes I played from the first.
Yeah,
How do you know
Ben.
it's faithful?
Because I have had discussions in the community that have said how good it
In the
is.
community.
Yes.
He's on a fucking a board for all Dead
He's got a
Space.
town hall meeting.
Just
calls them in.
discussing it all. Yeah,
I finished
love
the
it.
game. Here.
I mean, I do talk to people via my other account, so I'm just, just
Oh,
once.
God.
Twitter friends.
Yeah, Twitter friends. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Shut up, then. Right. So, I think from what I can tell, clearly a faithful remake. And I did enjoy the varied weapons. And what I found with the weapons was I didn't really tend to level them up with the nodes much. I just kind of like went along because I only played it on easy, so I couldn't be asked to give myself a challenge. And
Fair.
I still ended up fucking dying a few times because there are one hit kills from various enemies and stuff. But the nodes thing. I had collected so many nodes at one point that I was able to level up 2 guns completely, even with the schematics that I'd added up to them. Yeah, because I basically hoarded money and like a load of stuff in my inventory, sold what I didn't need, because med packs, for example, fuck me, I had loads of those. I never needed them as I'm on easy mode. Like, you're not going to die unless you get one hit killed. And yeah, just was able to upload everything like super easy.
I always found that I was running out of ammo, and I actually had some hairy moments, actually.
Yeah, no, I did run out of... So I used the plasma gun as my main weapon, and then there was the plasma rifle as well, which I used. I
like the line gun.
The line gun was good to take down some of the bigger enemies, like in
Kirk.
Yeah.
Yeah, you may not know this, and it's fine, but do you know the difference between easy and like hard and medium? Is it like how many hits an enemy can have, or?
I think I don't know for definite, but I would have thought.
Okay.
I would have thought it is that, and also there was a lot of stuff for me to pick up throughout the game, like a lot, and I know that wouldn't be the case with a harder mode.
Right.
I think I found medium. I think I was playing on medium. I found it. There were moments where I thought it was quite. I think Dead Space is more about moments where it's like, how the fuck do I kill all this stuff and get out of the way? Like,
yeah, I never had that.
Everything can seem quite trivial except for like a couple of moments where it's just like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I mean, there was one point where I think I said this on the last one where there was one of the bigger enemies and I didn't know how to kill it, and then I ended up using the slowdown mechanism to so I could go behind, and he's obviously got the weak points behind. But other than that, there wasn't really too much of an issue with what I was doing. It was, if anything, the worst bit for me that was a roadblock were a couple of the puzzles, and I had to Google them because I was just like, what the fuck am I trying to do?
I didn't know there were
here?
puzzles in Dead Space.
I don't know if you're mocking me or. I mean, there are.
No, it's not a mock. Actually, you have to put some like blocks in the batteries and stuff like that. Do that in a particular order or something. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean,
like pick up the things and put the batteries in the wall or whatever.
Yeah, I think one of the ones that I had to deal with last night was near the end game, and it's when you're moving the marker. It's on the I don't know what the fuck it's called. Like it's on the thing which basically you have to move around. You have to lift up bridges and certain things to let it move through, and you also have to.
Right, yes. I remember.
Yeah,
that, yeah.
And you got to shoot various. The tentacle kind of creature is like blocking its path and stuff. Sometimes you got to shoot various.
Soft
spots
okay,
too.
That's it. Yeah.
But there was one bit that when I was doing that, and they're called guardians. These enemy types that were in front of a door, and they're the ones that if you get too close to them, they will kill you instantly, even on easy mode, right? And I managed to run through the door because I never actually killed any of these things before, these particular enemies, because they're on the wall and I could just run past them, so I didn't bother engaging with them. But on this bit, I ended up going through the door, and I searched the whole room, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do, because I need to move this marker, but I can't because something's blocked. I need to get the power back on, and I can't find the power blocks, and there is nowhere for me to go. So I ran through the door where these guardians are, and it clearly looked like I was supposed to go through the door past this, but it wouldn't open. And I just thought to myself, right, I'm Googling it. I can't be asked for this. I had to kill the guardians, and then that's what triggers the game to allow you to go through the door that you're trying to go through. And I was like, brilliant. Right. Thanks. Like, it's just little things like that. But because I hadn't learnt that from playing the game earlier, because I literally avoided these things the whole time, I was none the wiser, you know? So let me move on to things, because I'm not overly impressed by the game at all. Like, I would give it a 4 or 5 out of 10 if I was gonna rate it. Yep.
Intense.
I think a lot of what I went into this game thinking, this is going to be pretty good. Like, everyone's hyping it up. I never got to play the original, like, at the time. And based on what everybody was saying at the time that it came out, it was like, fucking hell, it's like the second coming and people are loving it. But I think a lot of that is through rose-tinted glasses, where the nostalgia is hitting people a lot more than... Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not taking away that the people that have made this game, like, they've achieved something fantastic. Like I said, on a technical level, it's brilliant, and there isn't actually anything fundamentally wrong with the game. It's just it was not clicking with me, and I think I got caught up in the hype train with everybody else that was saying this is great, but it just didn't hit for me. So essentially, the only reason I carried on playing this to complete it to completion was because of you lot and a few people online that give me shit because I hadn't done it.
Your Twitter friends?
No. You got well, yeah, you got John, and you got fucking
your pals.
No, Metalli John and Mr. Llama Fluff. They've mocked me openly online.
Oh, good.
All right,
yeah.
They're good. Don't make me feel bad. They're good guys.
Yeah, they're good.
I was talking about your other Twitter friends.
Yeah, I bet you did the air quotation marks when you did that then, didn't you? You bastard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, of course you did, yeah.
They're podcast friends now.
Podcast friends. Friends of the show.
They're definitely elevated friends of the show.
So, yeah, the only reason I had done this was to complete it. Another thing I didn't like, the bot. Like, what is it with games and final bosses where they're just big bits of sludge, and you have these markers that you have to shoot to get it down, and they just do the same repetitive thing. And it's not really. Is it?
Yeah, I don't know if
spoiler?
I think you're kind of making
saying what the end boss is. Yeah.
No. I'm just.
That's not a spoiler. It's fine. You can say what you want.
It's a fucking
old as shit.
It's a 15-year-old game, isn't it? So
yeah, it's old as shit. You can say what you want.
the thing is, it's just one of those that it's just there for their sake. Like I would have had a better time dismembering the necromorphs and stuff, like a huge horde of them, along with other enemies, which I've had to do throughout the game, where like you get shut into rooms and then you got to clear the room before you can get out the room.
Yeah.
I would have had a lot more fun with that than this big fucking thing with tentacles going like kill me. I'm like, right, okay, brilliant.
I think it does suffer a little bit from old kind of game design.
Yeah. I can see that.
And for that reason, that's why I think Callisto, I know it's unpopular, I think Callisto Protocol is a better modern game than Dead Space Remake.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Big comment.
I mean, we know my thoughts on the game itself anyway, but at least I actually completed this one, and my friend bought me the other one. I bought this one myself.
No, you're a fucking...
I'm an arsehole, yeah, I know. One other thing I didn't like, why is it that every time an enemy pops out of nowhere, that there was this specific noise, like instrument that gets played, and it's so fucking cheesy, like a 80s horror movie, and it's just like, look, I'm here. You know what I mean, though, don't you? Like it doesn't fit the game, and it was the same thing every time. And then you hear it's not scary. It's not scary in the slightest. Like that's not whatever it was trying to achieve.
That's not a knock on Eddie. I respect that. Sorry.
No, it's not. It's not at all. It's just the creature comes out from a vent or something, and you get this noise, and you're just like, okay, right, here we go again. Then it starts screaming and running towards you. I'm like, right, just piss off and die. I said this before, I just kept using the fucking auto nav thing, like that shows you the way marker where you got to go.
Yeah,
everything does look the same, and I am listening to what's going on. I'm listening to the I didn't bother listening to audio logs and stuff, but the bits where you're forced to watch a video where you got your teammates and stuff like coming up, I kind of got involved with that and was paying attention. But now I'm like, but everything looks the fucking same. Like I don't know where I got to go.
Yeah, Kurt, what do you think if this game, if the environments were different, if every level, like area and stuff looked different, and they'd actually put some into that and then didn't have the navigation thing?
That would be better.
I think the game would be better.
Yes, that would absolutely...
Didn't have the line on the ground, because the problem is you press the button in and it just tells you the line to walk. And if they got rid of that and actually just had a marker on the map and made environments look different,
yeah,
I think...
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that could have really modernised it.
Also, another thing, in the year of 2023, which this game came out, because it was January, wasn't it? Why are there such long loading times? I have, like, so
it's a faithful remake.
One thing two things I noticed. The trams that you get on to go to different areas. That's obviously a loading screen, because it did not need to take that long. Like there were times that it took more than 30 seconds to get to where it is. And for a game that's running on an SSD and designed for this, I don't understand that. And the other thing, when you die, it took forever to get back into the game. So
yeah, but
explain
you
that.
only died twice.
No, I died.
Right.
I think I died 7 times in total. So yeah, I counted because I can. Anyway, just to close it, like I'm not impressed by the game as a whole. I'm not. If they bring out a Dead Space 2, I'm not playing it. I can't be asked. I wouldn't want to get involved. I know Dead Space 2 is the better one of the trilogy, but
it is better. Yeah,
I'm not. If it's anything like this first one, it would just be a chore for me. I just don't want to do it. So
all right, fair play. You don't have to.
But I played more than 20 minutes.
Good
of this one.
Yeah.
It took me 8 months.
Yeah,
I got there in the end.
Yeah, you played 20 minutes a week, so that's good. Okay, cool. Well, at least you finished it. Shall I talk about a new game then?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, firstly, I completed Exo Primal. Which was good.
The game you think I need to play.
Yeah, I do think you should play it. Fantastic game.
Right.
Can I put a little dampener on? And I have had to uninstall it. Because
dang,
preloading Starfield.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
That takes up more than half your hard drive, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. I'm a bit worried now because I've had to uninstall it. I think I've only got like 10 gigabytes space, and all 4 games I play. There's Starfield, there's Rocket League, there's my golf game, and Warzone.
Yeah.
And I play them every day. So
shit, yeah.
Yeah, I'm stuck
Ooh,
now.
if Warzone season update comes through.
Oh.
Eddie needs to buy he needs to buy the little memory card thing, doesn't he, to put into the back of his.
You could just get a normal external hard drive and just transfer between if you needed to.
Yeah,
They're cheap. So anyway, that's
talk,
unfortunate.
Talk to us about Armored Core.
Yeah, so let's go Armored Core. So Armored Core is a mech game from Software. So the makers of Dark Souls, Elden Ring. You can kind of gonna get where this is going from that. But a lot of people don't realise that they've made a load of these fucking Armored Core games. I've never played one. This is my first Armored Core game. I was really buzzing for it. And the summary of it is that it's absolutely fantastic. It is superb. But this is rock solid difficulty. This is so fucking hard.
Oh.
I'm not sure how I feel about you saying rock solid difficulty. That's a bit weird, but okay.
It could have gone another direction. I appreciate that, but it didn't. Difficulty. It is ridiculously hard though, Kirk.
All right.
There you go. I went there. Right. So gameplay wise, the story, and there is a story. It's much better than I thought it was going to be from listening to reviews. But you're a mercenary on this planet called Rubicon. And it's getting mined for something called coral, and there's rivaling corporations, and you're like doing mercenary kind of work for them, and then aligning and choosing who you're working for eventually, and things like that. It's quite basic, but there is a story there that it's quite grand in its spectacle and all that kind of stuff. It's and it's basically told not through cutscenes, through just a voice. Like, you've got a handler who kind of speaks to you, and a few other people, their voices come through, and it just explains what's going on. It's not heavy on cutscenes or anything like that, but it does actually work. It's mission-based, so every you click and choose to go out on a particular mission, and from that mission you earn money. That money can then be used to buy parts for your mech, and from there you... build up a garage of parts, and then you can swap and change and all that kind of stuff. And the missions themselves, some of them are 5 minutes long, some of them are 30 minutes long. You never really know what you're getting into. An indication may be how much you're going to earn from the mission, but you really don't know what's in store for you on every mission. At the moment, I am in Chapter 3. I'm deep into Chapter 3. There are 5 chapters in total. So there's a tutorial kind of bit with a boss, and then there's chapter 1 boss, chapter 2 boss. So there's a boss at the end of every chapter. The controls are good. They don't seem intuitive to start with. A lot of people saying, "Oh, they're very intuitive." At the start, I disagree, but it really does flow and get easier as you play more. Like, really, really does. So anybody who's playing this and it doesn't feel quite right at the start, it does get better. You've got 4 weapons all on your R1s and L1s, L2, R2, and you can customize like so much over your mech, and the stats behind it. You can open up detailed stats if you want, and all this kind of stuff. There's a lot to it, and the different type of weapons you can use and everything. And the main thing is really the mech building, like the being in the menus and building your mech and trying different versions of the mech is the whole game. So in general, the game is a fine challenge, and some of the missions are challenging in themselves, some of them aren't. But the mini bosses are tough, and the end of chapter bosses are insane. Like, this game is so fucking hard that you have to have basically the perfect build to beat a boss. Like, there are probably like 3 or 4 builds. So many times I've said to myself, this is suboptimal. Like it is not going well.
Just a quick question. So there is no difficulty change, is there? It's just the game is the game, right?
It's a From Software game, and they've stuck to their guns on that.
Yeah, I thought that was the case.
You're right. That's a good point. There is no difficulty. There's no hard, medium, or easy. There is just the game. And when I got to the end of first chapter boss, so you do the tutorial, and the tutorial boss is like, oh shit, this is hard. It took me 3 or 4 attempts to do the tutorial boss. And afterwards you're like, fucking hell, that was a fight. And then the game eases off, because at that point you're scared and you're going, wow, this is like the fucking first mission, man. This is, and then for the whole of the first chapter, it like eases you into missions. It's good. It feels great. Oh, this is a nice game. Oh, sweet. And it's opening up things like arenas and all this kind of stuff. Oh, there's loads to do. This is great. I'm having a fun time doing this. Then you get to the end of the first chapter and it goes, fuck you. It says, right, the end mission, there's like a mini boss in that first mission, and you're like, whoa, okay, fuck, that must have been the boss. No, that's not the boss. That's not the boss. And I genuinely think most people will drop the game at that first big boss. And if they don't do it at that first big boss, end of chapter 2, I suppose you've got to end of chapter 2 by that time, so maybe you'll persevere.
Do you know, you said the same,
is just as hard.
You said the same thing with Elden Ring.
Right. Well,
what was the first big bad that you come across in Elden Ring? Margaret or something?
Margot, is that what it's called?
Margot, yeah, something like that, wasn't it?
Similar.
As I remember you saying a similar sort of thing, where there was obviously people were kind of like getting into it, and then you come across the first big bad, and then people just, you think, well, they're going to drop off because they can't do it. But then obviously the whole point was you go in farm stuff, don't you, so that you get more powerful and then you go back.
This is a good point, Kurt. You're making a great point for me here, because this game doesn't have that. There is no power leveling in this. So something like Elden Ring or Dark Souls, you could just go away and you could just farm away souls, level up, and become so overpowered for the boss. There is no leveling in this game.
Okay.
There's no leveling. If you can't do it, you can't do it. There is only playing around with the builds. And the main thing you learn from the first big boss, the one piece of advice that I have to anyone, I won't say what build it is, you can probably look online, and I had to try many, many, many different builds to get one that I then just destroyed the boss on. I thought there was a serious skill gap. I thought, how the fuck am I? It took me 30 attempts. No joke. It took me 30 attempts, 3 hours odd for that first boss.
Whoa!
And I thought, whoa, this is crazy. I then listened to a podcast, and one person on it said they spent 2 hours. The other one said they spent 2.5 hours. So I was like, oh shit, I'm not alone.
Okay.
That's actually how long it takes. But this game, unlike Souls, where you could just walk in and do the boss, you could theoretically do the boss if you're just really good or you get lucky or whatever. This is like, you have to have that build. You have to learn what the build is. And
so that's the farming aspect of it then, is trial and error, what the build is that you need, right?
So it took me a long time, because I had to... So one thing is that you can buy and sell parts for your mech. And you can buy and sell them at the same price. And it's a really good thing. So you could buy... There's no penalty to buying a part and then selling it back. You can also replay old missions and get quite a bit of money. So actually, that's quite easy, and you can do that. When you're in a mission, you can also change the build of your mech in the bit, so you can get to the boss and you can just play around and rebuild before you fight him again, which is also really cool. The bad part is you cannot purchase parts unless you are out of the mission. So I did the last mission about 4 or 5 times as I kind of went out, got more money, purchased different parts, went back in, tried it again, would come back out, and it was just, that's one of the reasons it took ages. But I just couldn't like see a way through. And then suddenly you do find a build and you do destroy the boss, and you're like, oh, that feels amazing. And it starts it again, and you're like, then you're back in it, and then chapter 2 starts, and yes, the difficulty is manageable. There are mini bosses, and you're loving it again, and you're loving the new guns you've got and everything you've purchased. Mm-hmm. And then you get to that next chapter boss, and it starts that whole thing again, and there's another 30 attempts. And I've questioned with this game so far whether there will be a point where I will just not be good enough to carry on.
Okay.
And I don't, and that's the real fear, because one of the bad points I have on this game, and it is just probably one of the only real bad ones, is that I'm not sure whether the end of chapter bosses, the difficulty of them, get in the way of the game to a certain extent. Like, I love this game. Like playing missions and stuff is so cool, and the challenge of the missions. Like there's one mission like two like assassin mechs come after you at the end of the mission, and I beat them first time, and it felt so fucking great. And I fist pump. It's one of the first games ever that I genuinely have been shouting, like when I fail or I beat them. I'm like, yes, fuck you, yes, because it feels so fucking good. And you're like, yes, this is brilliant. The power of some of the fucking guns that you put on and stuff like that. But then you get to the bosses, and it's almost like you get to the end of a chapter, and you go, oh, fuck, I'm at the last chapter mission. You know it's going to be this fucking insane slog.
Yeah.
That's the only off-putting thing that I have. And for some people, it's the main thing they love. For me, this game just feels incredible. It feels so damn good. I don't mind the boss difficulty, and I don't mind them being there. I just wish there was more of the good stuff in between before I hit one of those fucking bosses again. But it's quality. This is fucking quality gaming. It's so hardcore. Like these seem to be the most difficult bosses that I can remember ever facing.
Even compared to Elden Ring.
Oh yeah, yes, 100%. You can always see a way through with something like Elden Ring, and also you can power level.
Yeah, I suppose.
But this is like this is more. You need to. So on the second chapter boss, it wasn't necessarily that there was a build that would destroy the boss. With the first chapter boss, if you get the right build, it's like it becomes quite easy. Well, easy is a strong word, but you know what I mean. Like you can do it. It might take you a couple of attempts, but you can do it. When you get what I perceive to be the correct build for me on the second boss, it still took me 10 more attempts.
Okay.
And when I did it, I'd staggered the boss. He had like 10% health, and I just remember I said to myself, "Don't move." I was just clicking all the L and R buttons as much as I could. I wasn't even controlling the mech anymore. I was just pressing those buttons, just trying to get as much damage as possible. It was, and then when you do it, like incredible feeling, but fuck, it's difficult.
Okay.
I just think the completion rate on this game is going to be low, real low.
Well, I think most people that buy the game probably know what to expect, actually. So maybe not.
I don't think people would, because this was, I don't know if it's advertised as such, but I think it was expected to not be Souls level difficulty.
Oh, okay. Right.
I certainly didn't expect it to be Souls level difficulty. It's only when I watched a review and the guy said, and this is after I'd bought it and before I got to play it, and the guy said 95% of people will not beat this game. And I was like, oh, let's hope that I'm part of the 5%. That's unlikely that I'm part of the 5%, but yeah, okay. He said that this game, he died hundreds of times. It broke him. It's amazing, but it's ridiculously hard. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah. But yeah, that's cool.
There you go.
Good game.
Oof.
Good game.
Nice.
Right, talk to us
Game
about...
of the Year contention?
It is actually up there for me. It is right now, and I know I'm suffering from recency bias, but if I get to complete this game, it may definitely be up there. It's just whether I get to complete it.
Right.
Whether I'm good enough to complete it.
But isn't that a wonderful loop to have, like to keep on going back to it to try and beat it?
In theory, it is, Eddie, but when you're loading up the same boss for the 30th time, it's pretty soul destroying. When you've spent 3 hours on a boss, and the second one I spent 2 hours on, I think. Like that is I've played this game probably for 10 hours, and I'm deep into chapter 3, near the end of chapter 3. Half of that time has been on 2 fights.
Oh.
That
that's
gives you a perspective. Gives you a perspective.
Oh, brilliant! Right, I'll talk about Rareware Empire. I'm not going to go into detail about it like you have, because this is just a simple game. But it's developed by Gaming Mind Studios, but it's published by Calypso Media. And of course, Calypso make your Tropico games.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the kind of good thing about this game is because it's that style of game. Basically, it came out in 2018 as well, but it came out on Game Pass I think only a month or two ago. So that's where it came to the attention of me and you, Ben. I don't know. Time just I don't know. Probably 2 months, but then like the amount of times I've said that and someone's gone, "Oh, it was 6 months ago."
Yeah, I think it was like 2 months. I think 35, it was
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's like a mansion simulation game where you are in charge of a railway empire. Really, you have other people to face against, but you kind of own a company, and it's all about kind of building up. There's like different modes. So you got your campaign mode with different levels. Like you start in, I can't remember where you start, but you go to these different places and you have different things to do. It's got a full tutorial. As I've said last week, I think I spent about fucking 5 hours on the tutorials, for goodness sake, which is ridiculous. But what's quite cool is it's got a sandbox mode with loads of difficulty levels. Like, not only can you just go in like casual mode, but you can choose all your difficulties as well, which is really cool, because if you just go on full difficulty, there are quite immersion breaking things, in my opinion. So you can switch all of this. It's all customizable, and I obviously found my perfect sandbox mode, which was really, really good fun. The music and atmosphere is brilliant. It's a typical Calypso game. Like, it feels, with these kind of games, because these are games where you tell yourself you're going to play this game forever. Like, it's a management simulation game. You need good atmosphere. You need good music. And this obviously has it. It's like that, I don't know, 1850s America kind of like chill, I don't know, Western atmosphere to it, which is really, really good. There's a few things about the game. The visuals are great. I'll obviously go on to that before going on to some negatives. The visuals are good. And also that you can zoom in and all the way out. Like, I love this. So it sounds sad when I say it out loud, but I'm still going to do it. Like, part of these games, the kind of rewards you get is like seeing your trains fill up with passengers. And I love zooming in and seeing all the passengers like get in and stuff.
Seeing their little faces.
See their little smiling faces, or maybe like if you like the money side of it, then having loads of trams full of like wood or whatever going from one place to another, and like the camera options are brilliant. You can zoom all the way and you can see everything. Same with like you can track your trains, you can track your lines, and you can kind of go along with it. And with that, it's really good that they've got all these different options, because it's a game. I don't know where the main loop is, but basically, like, there are things that you'll do that will massively affect your railway lines. So, for example, if you don't put a second line and have like a one-way system, it might fuck it up completely, because a train might wait in a certain area for ages. If you design your track to be too uphill at certain areas, then I've had this at the beginning, you're fucked, because then the train goes 4 miles an hour for half the journey. I also got fucked once when I designed a track, and I went underground underneath a mountain. Now, I thought that was fine. It cost me 50 times more than if I went around the mountain. So there are loads of cool little features like this. Another good thing, you can play anywhere in Europe and America. So... and I mean, like, nearly all major cities you can play. In fact, I even started my sandbox mode in Plymouth, where I'm from. Yeah, have a little Plymouth journey.
Does it have a landscape which is like
Plymouth?
So
it's olden times, so it's like 1850s. So, you know what, Ben? Actually, landscape, yes, as in going through Dartmoor, I shouldn't say Dartmoor, going through a local area near Plymouth is raised. So I had to build like a tunnel system to go through certain bits, right? The disappointing bit about the game is not a lot of areas are built out, and the places that are built out aren't very big at all. And in fact, what really upset me, when you put a station down, Now, I guess this is mechanically, maybe the developers did this because it was really impossible to do it otherwise. But if I put a station down, it changes the whole city. Like, I can, if I've got the city in front of me and I just go, I'm going to put a train station right in the middle, it'll change the whole entire city, which of course is incredibly immersion breaking. But I guess it's probably the best way to do it. I don't know why they couldn't have done it like it didn't affect anything and you needed to build a road from A to B. I don't know why they haven't done that, but I guess that there's a reason for that. I'm loving the economy side of things. It's really nice, like building a track knowing that you're going to get a lot of money between X and Y. And it's really fun kind of building that up, like knowing that, because you can build other buildings like factories and things that produce things from certain resources. So therefore, if you get resources from another city, that will help your income. All that is great fun. But the problem with the game, in my opinion, is there's so much waiting around. Like, especially, like, if you've run out of money, you are waiting. You are sitting there watching trains go up and down. And unless you're, like, a train, like, enthusiast, like me. It's boring.
Sitting,
the amount of trains that go past your fucking window, Kirk, you'll be loving it. You're playing the same game as I am, like, just watching trains going up and down. Like, it's such a shame because, like, the building of the tracks and the sorting out your economy and all this is so much fun. But then when you've stopped building, it's insanely boring. So it's either a game where it's fun or it's incredibly boring. And the problem is, like, even when once I realise this, as I'm building up my empire, I know that fun is going to come to an end at some point. So yeah, I'm not gonna say it's a bad game. I think it's a nicely made game. I think it's nice looking. I think the atmosphere is great. I think once you've had your fun with this game, it's very boring. But saying that, like, it's very positive on Steam. Like, people are saying very good things about it. So if you're into these kind of games, then I can completely understand if you're saying, Eddie, you're wrong here.
Does it go for the ages? Does it go?
Yes, it does, and you do have a research tree, Ben. So I guess that's probably most people's hooks on this.
Right?
You kind of go, if I research this further, I'll get a better train, which is more powerful. And you've got different types of trains, that specialize in either luggage or people or mail, and all these trains do have different stats, which would be quite interesting. Yeah. But I guess the problem with that is that's the only thing you're looking forward to doing. Getting researching.
It is on Game Pass, though, isn't it? Like, it's
Fuck me, what a Game Pass game! If I'm going to say that, because when you're enjoying this game, it's great fun. It's a nice calming game, and if you don't mind that, like sitting and watching your trains go from A to B, it's a perfect game. But unfortunately, it's just it's not keeping me because I don't like knowing that I'm just sitting and watching trains while I'm playing computer.
Well, Starfield is just around the corner, Eddie. So
Starfield is just around the corner.
Do not worry, son. Okay, good stuff. Well, there's a Game Pass game, so that's nice. Shall we then move on to Gamescom?
Yeah.
Gamescom.
Right.
Where's GTA 6?
Yes, exactly. So Gamescom 2023 opening night, well, the whole thing was last week. We watched opening night, as did probably many people listening to this, but we will summarise what went on briefly. What did we think of the show? I thought it was pretty good because my expectations weren't that high. What do you think?
I mean, for me, it was all right. Like, I there wasn't much there for me in respect to what I was like. Nothing psyched me up for.
No.
Yeah, I know, right?
Was there a lot of not for me's? Were there?
There were a lot of not for me's. Absolutely. You're such a cunt.
I fucking hate you guys.
They showed that new fucking Sonic game.
Yeah, but that was the multiplayer aspect of it. I don't fucking play Sonic with other people. I just want to play the main bit. So, I mean. No, it was okay. There was some interesting stuff that happened as Eddie just mentioned, the GTA 6. I mean, that stage invader, He was.
Yeah, right at the start of the show, wasn't it? Jeff handled that like an absolute pro.
He did. And I mean, the funny thing was the camera caught him in such a way where he kind of like shrugged up his shoulder. He was like, "Ugh, like what's this guy doing up here?"
He kind of
you know what I mean?
Turned his back.
Yeah.
I mean, can we just take a moment to ask what security firm is providing? I mean,
Yeah,
the last
I
two
know.
events. I mean,
Yeah.
it'd be better.
I mean, yeah.
Also, how many people are at these events? Like, surely not many, right?
I mean,
I think in the arena there was quite a few.
I'd say 1,000 people minimum.
This kid was in the front row.
1,000? No,
Yeah.
not 1,000.
Yeah.
It's a few hundred.
1,000.
Yeah, fucking 1,000, Kirk. No.
Thousand.
What?
But can I just? This guy was in the front row. Do they not vet who's in the front row?
Yeah.
Clearly not.
Like,
Also,
Anyway.
what did he think he was going to achieve? What did he think he was going to achieve by running up saying, "We want GTA 6"?
I've heard GTA 6 is out next week now. Actually.
Oh right, yeah.
So-
Rockstar's ears perked up, did they?
he
Yep.
moved it. He moved it.
They,
Along, yeah.
they listened to the people. Yep.
Yeah. Don't know what was.
There you go.
What was going on? Anyway, yeah. So Jeff Keighley did not big up expectations. He said it was would show some new gameplay stuff, but largely it was things that we'd already be aware of. And I think maybe he said 2 or 3 other things. I'm not really sure what those 2 or 3 other things were, but regardless. So we've picked out a few things that we enjoyed that we will just talk about briefly that were shown. So again, most of the stuff shown was already known, but we saw Payday 3. I quite like the look of Payday 3. It's coming to Game Pass. It's coming out like next month or something. It's a multiplayer game. I always wanted to play Payday 2, but by the time that I wanted to play it, like it was pretty dead. So I like this. Having now experienced Exo Primal, which is a multiplayer game, but it's single player, but you play it with multiplayer, just randoms. I'm thinking Payday 3 with randoms would be absolutely fine as well. So I'm looking forward to this because the beta had a heist mission and people were fairly positive about that. So yeah,
there's an Ice-T mission as well, isn't there? Because it was introduced by Ice-T, and I don't understand. Like it's a weird little collaboration, but okay, cool.
Yeah, very odd. But
Leave him alone.
yeah, you interested in playing it? It's on Game Pass. Anybody interested in playing it?
If it's on Game Pass, then yes. But that's the only reason.
I never took to any of the paid. Like I didn't. They never really kind of like spoke to me. Like I thought they were a bit meh, personally.
Bit naff.
Yeah. So not for me. Not for me.
Is it not for you? Okay. Well, what
Here
is
we
for
go
you, Kurt?
again.
Kurt, come on,
Don't ask that question,
give us
Ben.
a what's for you. Come on.
I'll tell you what is for me. I quite like the look of Fort Solace. I thought that looked quite good.
It's out now. You could buy it right now.
Yeah, I know I can. It actually,
not gonna.
they actually, I think they shadow dropped it on the night it was announced, right?
They did, yeah.
So that's the game with Roger Clark, Troy Baker, and Julia Brown.
Troy Baker fucking loves
He's everywhere.
himself, isn't he?
He's also everywhere, isn't he? Like it's nuts.
Fucking loves himself. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing because, you know, if I was Troy Baker, I'd love myself too. But
I'm terrible names. Is he the guy with Last of Us?
Yes.
yeah,
And Roger Clark.
Roger
Clark's-
He loves himself. Yeah.
he's the guy that owned the stage.
Yeah.
It's like, look at me.
I did enjoy it that when he was speaking, though, they put the other guy's name up. On the
Yes,
screen.
they put Roger
didn't
Clark
have-
up when.
He did. I fucking loved that. Yes.
Did you see what he put on Twitter though? He screenshotted it. He had a screenshot of it, Troy Baker, and he said, "I'm so good that I play other people," or something like that. Like it was. I was like, okay. Anyway, this game. It didn't really.
Sorry, did he actually say I'm so good? Sorry, is he that arrogant?
Yes.
Did he say that?
Oh,
You can't say that.
wow.
I'll have to find.
Love this
the tweet. But
get sued
the game. Let's talk about the game a second. So the trailer didn't really give much away. Like it didn't really say a lot about what it was. But after some digging, after I saw it, it's about a 3 or 4 hour story. And this is from the site. It's a high fidelity, narrative focused psychological thriller. So that could be quite quite interesting.
It looks really nice.
Yeah,
I think Pure Dead Gaming said on Twitter that it's underrated given the reviews. I think they said that they really enjoyed it. I think it might have been Craig who put it up or something, but
okay.
Yeah, they said it was a good game, and it's. I think the reviews have been fairly middling, but.
What are people expecting? It's like it's an indie developer that have done a short AAA looking game. Like
they've got a AAA cast, and it looks fucking amazing.
Yeah, I don't know how they managed to get the cast. It's not just one person, is it? It's like one of the biggest people in gaming at the moment, and Roger Clark's no small fry. So, but yeah, I might give this a go. I might pick it up at some point soon.
Well, yeah, great.
Nice one. Let's have Dead Space.
For fuck's sake.
Eddie, hit us with something you liked the look of.
Well, you were saying at the beginning, Ben, all of these we know about, and this is the beauty of just being a gamer that plays games and doesn't listen to the industry, because I didn't know that, Ben. I saw all these and went, wow, this looks amazing. The first one is Crimson Desert.
Yeah.
Fuck me. I saw this and went shit, I'm getting Witcher mixed with Kingdom Come Deliverance fucking vibes, and I'm all in. It looks amazing.
I think this has been in development hell. I remember hearing about this 3 fucking years ago.
Well, I mean, looking at the visuals, from the bit where he jumps off the horse and you see the city in the background, it looks incredible. It really does.
Ghost of Tsushima
you never know.
Type.
Well, I mean that's a stretch, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I think it looks beautiful, and I always like this kind of games. So
just
sweet.
Just before you go on, Ben, just to show the arrogance of Troy Baker, the post was nobody really knows I'm that good of an actor. How bad is that?
Love it. Oh,
and that is emphasised in capitals as well.
I don't use the word douche that much, but
he is so in love with himself, and I suppose that's nice to see that somebody.
Okay, baby girl.
Yeah,
because he's Joel, isn't he?
Yes,
anyway, what's your next one, Ben?
I want to talk about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
Look good, doesn't it? Look very good.
Now, can I for fuck's sake, every one of these fucking events, why do they turn up every cunting time and show basically a full fucking mission? Nobody gives a shit. That campaign, the campaign of the last one, I was interested in playing it. You were interested in playing it, Kurt. I don't know if you completed it. I certainly did not complete it.
I did.
It's fine. I think the completion rate of the campaign compared to who plays that game is approximately 5%.
Okay.
It's no one plays it. I know they're all into it and they want people to care about it, and heaven forbid there isn't a Call of Duty campaign, because then everybody in the world will kick off. Nobody plays it, but everyone will kick off. Why do they show a full level at these things? It's just...
I do agree.
It's such a waste of time. It's a cup of tea moment. Everyone goes to makes a coffee or something. Oh, right, Call of Duty's on. I was making dinner at the time. Just popped in.
I find these... I could understand when Call of Duty wasn't the juggernaut that it is now, because you want to see... And when there was a brand new version coming out, but this is just the next thing on from Modern Warfare 2 from last year. It's not going to be massively improved, but the way that it looks, etc. It looks like Call of Duty. It looks fantastic. It's going to play well, but we don't need to, like you said, 20 minutes of a level. But the thing that did come as part of this, that castle looks very similar to a castle that we used to play during lockdowns on Warzone back from Verdansk. And there's heavy rumours that there is Verdansk map coming back to Warzone.
Well, it's coming to COD Mobile, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yes, there is that. There is that.
I could definitely see in Warzone 3, which I assume is being released around the same time as this game. I could definitely see them going back to Verdansk to reignite the fire, because the game has lost its fire. I personally think El Mazrah is a fantastic map, but and probably better than Verdant. But there is no denying that the community has a nostalgia and a passion for Verdant. If they brought that back, we were saying, Eddie, weren't we? Like, that would bring everyone back.
Yeah, definitely.
You bring Verdant back, it's all back.
I think Verdansk is by far the best map that I've ever played on all the Warzones. And yeah, but also, not only do I think it's the best, but yeah, it will bring everyone back. Even if it's not well done, people will be like, fine, because it's the memories.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
I think that's probably their big play.
Yeah.
That when they need it, they'll do it.
Yeah, that could be their Hail Mary. Everyone's dropping off Warzone. Maybe a new game comes out that everyone's loving.
Yeah.
That could be their, right, let's drop
Warzone 3, Verdansk, boom, everything's back. That community
I did
loves
have one
to complain,
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I did have one problem. Why did the guy always shoot the people in the crotch? Why was he not aiming for any heads?
Dick shots.
Like, it was I swear, every single fucking guy he killed was dick shots.
Dick shots.
Like, who trained him?
Not in the dick.
Dick shot boy.
Not in the dick. That's the one place you don't shoot a man.
That's one thing we've learned from South Park.
Someone called Richard. Did you like the look of Modern Warfare 3 though, Ben, or was you just berating it?
Just looked like fucking Modern Warfare 2, didn't it?
Cool.
Whoa! I thought it looked really cool.
Yeah, it looks fine, just like the last one.
Yeah, I mean it's
good.
Not an unfair statement. To be fair,
Look good. If somebody had said that was DLC for the old game, like how the fuck?
Wouldn't notice.
Last one came out the last one came out fucking 9 months ago.
Well, actually, this was supposed to be DLC, I believe.
Yeah, there you go. Like it's literally like the same fucking game. The last one came out 5 minutes ago.
This is going to be a 4-hour campaign, guaranteed.
Yeah.
So, speaking of shorter games, there is Assassin's Creed Mirage. I'm quite looking forward to. Are you going to play it? Are you going to play it? Are you going to pay it? Are you going to play it? Well, I quite enjoyed the first couple of Assassin's Creed games, but then kind of started falling off when they started making them typical Ubisoft massive worlds with all these markers that you have to like fulfill. But it's been told that this is going to be a shorter one, isn't it? Like a 10-15 hour campaign.
15 to 20, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean that's a nice length of game in my eyes.
It is.
And if it looks really, really good, and it kind of takes me back to the original Assassin's Creed games, which is something that we haven't had for quite a while. So I think I might dive into it.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, that's. I think you'll be the only one that does on this podcast, but that's really good.
Yeah.
That's fine. That is fine. That is fine. That's actively encouraged, if anything. Eddie, what's your next one?
Nightingale.
Good. I thought this might be up your street.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you got me with the old hunting and gathering. Looks like. I mean, the world looks crazy. I'm never too much of a fan of crazy worlds, but then of course, like that base building or whatever the fuck's going on there. Oof. And also the atmosphere of the whole world looks like it could be enchanting. There you go. Let's use a different word.
I agree.
Yeah, that's weird. I think this could. Don't get me wrong. This could be another Outward for me, like a complete flop. But it could equally as well be an amazing game. So yes, I'm looking forward to seeing.
It's an interesting looking one, isn't it? It's an interesting.
Oh yeah,
one. Could be good. Could be good. There's a bit of hype about this one. So yeah,
it could be good or it could be horrendous. So yeah, it's the age old one. Yeah. So absolutely. I'm gonna wait for reviews to come out and then I think this could be a snatching up one.
Cool. They talked about Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty a bit more. We're 1 month out from that, I think. It looks excellent. The gameplay mechanics they showed for the 2.0 update look excellent as well. That's actually been released before the DLC, so I think that's like allowing you to almost start a new playthrough if you wanted to under the new mechanics. The 2.0 update will be free. It's just the actual Phantom Liberty DLC story will be paid for, which I think is very good. So they're doing an overhaul of the gameplay mechanics. I think they've got new skill trees and systems, and The police have been reworked. The car chases. You've now got vehicle combat where you can shoot out your vehicle and stuff like that. Just looks a lot better. It looks a lot more filled out. Very impressed.
The game it should have been.
It does look like that. Yeah, it does look like that. I think it just makes it better. I definitely foresee this being something that I play. Maybe not now, but at any point in a lull, I would love to just start a new playthrough under the new 2.0 update. Go into Phantom Liberty. Yeah. Really
Nice.
good. So, cool.
All right.
Really good timing to bring it out as well, I think.
Yes. With everything else coming out.
Is it? Is it though?
With everything else coming out, pop it on the tab. But they've got to get it out there, haven't they? So,
I've seen a lot of people on Twitter saying, if any developers want to postpone their games, please feel free to. Because there's too much coming out in the next couple of months. It's ridiculous.
Eddie, have you got any more?
I've got two. I'll quickly say, is it Era? History Untold.
Yes.
That
yeah,
one.
yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one. I mean, pretty obvious that I was going to choose this. The kind of strategy game that looks quite good. Mm-hmm. It could be shit, could be good. But I'm going to end my little spiel on Expeditions, a Mud Runner game.
Yeah, lovely.
You'd never think I'd choose this, but fuck me. At first I thought, here we go. I mean, actually, at first I went, whoa, this looks gorgeous. But then I thought, oh, another car guy, another mashed potato driver. Kirk will like this.
Thank you.
But yeah, then it goes into the details. It goes into the drones, the equipping the cars with certain things, like your anchors and your fucking,
Yeah. Just
and the physics based of it all as well. I think this could be fucking great fun, and even the smaller details like the UI and the map. I think it's well done. I
assume this is a sequel to Mud Runner and Snow Runner. I assume it's just their next one, maybe a slightly different take on it or something. Well, the fact that it's called Expeditions makes it seem more mission focused. But yeah, I mean. Those games are class.
You played Snow Runner, didn't you?
Yes, I did play Snow Runner. Did I play Mud Runner as well? I think I just played Snow Runner. It was good until I got stuck. But, in the snow. I want to end on Alan Wake 2. That was what the show ended on, actually. So they showed more of Alan Wake 2. It looks graphically very, very nice. Horror fans, I'm sure, will be impressed. I know it's moved 1 week back to avoid Spider-Man. That's what we said in the news last week. Kirk, I see it as kind of a game for you. Are you interested in?
I played the original and I thought it was all right, but it wasn't kind of what I expected at that time. I was expecting more of a horror game. This one looks more like it's going down horror route.
It does, yeah.
And yeah, like you said, it looks fucking great. My only thing with it, and this is just one of those logistical mental gymnastics things I've got to deal with if I want to get it, is it's digital only, isn't it? And
it is digital only, yeah. It is digital only.
That's a bit of a piss take, because if I don't like it, I'm now stuck with it. And great.
Very true, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And it won't be a particularly long game either. So
no.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm probably going to do is probably just hold off and wait and see if what the reviews are like on it. I'm sure it's going to be great, because there's been a lot of hype around it. It does look fantastic, but it's that digital only thing is what's kicking me in the balls.
Yeah, I mean, for a man who casually said that you might just randomly buy a Switch because you didn't put on a click download on a Mac earlier.
I mean, I'd never do it. I'm playing Big Barry
throw
bollocks.
Away money now, are you?
Big Barry bollocks. All right, what do you want?
A lot of bollocks in recently. Can we dial back on that, especially after seeing that guy shoot loads of people in the dick?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
But on Gamescom, there were a shit ton of announcements or updates, rather, on loads of things like Tekken and all this kind of stuff. Like, there was loads of stuff. There were just a few that we
more on Mortal Kombat as well. They had.
Yeah, more Mortal Kombat. Like, it's Tekken's coming
Guys,
out.
we've been chatting for 2 hours. Like, I think Pete is screaming from his grave. Let's not go through every single one.
Yes, yes. Eddie is right. So yeah, if you're interested in Gamescom, then check it out somewhere because we're not talking about it anymore. Right, socials. You can email us podcast@grumpygamers.co.uk. You can tweet us at grumpygamerspod. But for this week, it's GG.
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 That was a super quick ending.
That was. It was like it's like Ben realised. Like, fuck.
Ah, shit.
Right, we gotta go. Let's go. 2 hours, 9 minutes. Shit.